In my previous challenge video, I attempted to beat FireRed using only a Starmie. Now some of you may remember that Starmie became a version exclusive in Generation 3, only being catchable in Leaf Green. So when deciding who to use for my next challenge, who better than Starmie's FireRed counterpart? Today, I'm going to try to beat FireRed using nothing but a Cloyster. Let's take a quick look at Cloyster's base stats. Sitting at an average of 87.5, Cloyster is technically stronger than Starmie's 86, but a huge portion of that average comes from Cloyster's insanely high defense, which in this generation is the 4th highest in the game. Cloyster's special attack and speed are both below average though, and its special defense is abysmal. To give you an idea of just how bad it is, Cloyster has the same special defense as an Onyx. We need to talk about the moveset too. Cloyster has practically no type coverage, only ever getting water, ice, or normal damaging moves. Despite all this though, can Cloyster come out on top over Starmie? Let's find out. Before I begin, a couple of ground rules. First, since they make practically any challenge a joke, I won't be allowed to use items in battle. Second, I am allowed to capture HM slaves, but they can't be used during battle in any way. No switching out, and if I get forced out by Roar or Whirlwind, I immediately have to switch back. Third, and this isn't so much a rule as a guideline, whenever possible, I'll purposefully be skipping trainer battles, just so I don't overlevel accidentally. With all of that being said, let's get started. I'm always going to make sure to rename both myself and my rival in these challenges. In the spirit of Cloyster, I named my character Pearl, with the obvious rival named Diamond. When picking which starter my rival would take, I was torn. I want Diamond to be as strong as he can possibly be. Even though Bulbasaur seems like the obvious choice, I'm also super effective against it with my ice attacks. I had considered picking Squirtle, but at the end of the day, I think Bulbasaur would still be more challenging because of Cloyster's low special defense. On my first battle with Diamond, Bulbasaur only has Tackle and doesn't stand a chance against Aurora Beam. Skipping right ahead to Viridian Forest, I defeat the one mandatory trainer, and I'm going into Brock at level 6, just like Starmie. Even though I don't have any water moves, Aurora Beam is still super effective against their ground half, and I take out both Geodude and Onix with ease. Moving on from Pewter City, I don't run into any issues until I get to the Super Nerd inside of Mount Moon. The Grimer disables my Aurora Beam, but I don't actually have another attacking move. I won't even have access to anything else until I beat Misty, so I have to spam Supersonic until the disable wears off. One thing Starmie and Cloyster have in common is the lack of hands and feet, so farewell Mega Punch and Mega Kick. I definitely can't take Misty at level 14, so on to Nugget Bridge. Cloyster actually has a much easier time with the rival fight than Starmie did. Pidgeotto goes down to Aurora Beam, but I do lose twice only because Bulbasaur puts me to sleep on turn 1. However, I do outspeed and can survive a single Vine Whip, so I don't see any reason why I can't win with just a tiny bit of luck. On attempt number 3, Bulbasaur wastes a turn missing Poison Powder, and I'm able to take it out. After this, Abra and Rattata pose no threat. Aurora Beam is still the only attack I have access to, and it only has 20 PP. I have to run back to the Pokemon Center several times while working my way to Bill's house, which is pretty annoying. After nabbing the SS Sand ticket, I'm heading into Misty at level 19. Even though Cloyster had a much easier time fighting the rival, this was not the case with Misty. Both Staryu and Starmie resist Aurora Beam and have Recover. Even though I resist Water Pulse, it's still doing over a third of my HP because of how bad my special defense is. I lose a bunch of times, and I even try scumming out the fight with Supersonic, but Water Pulse is confusing me pretty consistently too, and I would need some insane levels of luck to win here. I go and fight the remaining trainers above Nugget Bridge and come back at level 21. I definitely do better this time around, but the main issue is that Starmie keeps surviving on a magic pixel, allowing Misty to throw out a super potion. I decide I need just a tad bit more oomph, but even after trying again at both 22 and 23, I'm somehow having the exact same issue. That damn magic pixel is the bane of my existence. Even coming back at 24, I need a very specific set of circumstances. First, I need Staryu to use Harden so I can go into Starmie with full HP. Second, I need Supersonic to land, and it's only a 55% chance. I missed twice in a row, and I was certain this was going to be a reset. However, my luck turns, and Starmie hits itself. It gets in one more Water Pulse, leaving me at 6 HP, but it thankfully doesn't confuse me. With my finger hovering above the reset button, Starmie hits itself one more time, putting it in the perfect range for the KO. Just goes to show that you should never give up. With Water Pulse in hand, and I finally have a second attacking move other than Aurora Beam. My next stop is the SS and to take on Diamond. All the extra leveling I had to do for Misty pays off here. Pidgeotto and Ivysaur both get one-shot by Aurora Beam, and Raticate goes down to a single Water Pulse. Kadabra is also a connoisseur of the Magic Pixel, but uses its only turn on Disable. Good thing I finally have 2 attacking moves. After rubbing an older gentleman's back in exchange for goodies, I head over to fight Lieutenant Surge. By all rights, this gym should be a nightmare for Cloyster, but because Misty walled me for so long, I'm high enough level to outspeed and one-shot both Voltorb and Pikachu. I outspeed Raichu too, and we exchange a Water Pulse Confusion for a Thunder Wave Paralyze. Just like with Starmie, Surge decides that using a full heal on Confusion is more important than healing, and I get the win. Rock Tunnel is pretty uneventful. Even the Picnicker with a Bulbasaur who gave Starmie some trouble gets wrecked by Aurora Beam. Next stop is a Celadon department store where I grab Hyper Beam. This will come in handy for anything that resists both ice and water, not to mention it will take advantage of Cloyster's higher attack stat, which isn't huge, but it's still something. If you're familiar with Generation 1, you might be asking yourself why I don't grab Ice Beam. Unfortunately, they changed it in Generation 3, and you can only get Ice Beam via the Rocket Game Corner, and I don't want to waste a huge amount of time collecting coins. Speaking of the Game Corner, let's go fight Erica.
Gotcha, bitch!
Just like Surge, this gym should have been a nightmare, but with Aurora Beam being a stab move, I almost sweep her entire team. Vileplume manages to survive a hit and paralyze me with Stun Spore. It comes close to devastating me with Giga Drain, but it doesn't quite heal enough, and I take it out with one last Aurora Beam. I'm gonna skim through the Rocket HQ since there's not much to say. Giovanni is one of the few examples where Cloyster's ridiculous defense stat comes in handy. Kangaskhan's Mega Punch is only doing 16 damage, roughly a sixth of my total health, so I smack this mama down and get on with my day. The Diamond fight in Lavender Town reminds me of something I haven't mentioned yet. Starmie had some issues during the rival battles because of Razor Leaf and its high crit rate. However, another advantage that Cloyster has is the Shell Armor ability, which makes it immune to crits. Not that it matters anyways, since Ivysaur gets outsped and one-shot by Ice yet again. Gyarados is a new contender for Cloyster. I spam Water Pulse forgetting that not only would Ice have been neutral damage, but Hyper Beam is also just like right there, and this is the exact scenario that I bought it for. Either way, Gyarados goes down, then Growlithe and Kadabra follow suit. I hit level 36 and learn one of the only 2 moves that Cloyster gets via level up, Spikes. I clean up the rest of the Pokemon Tower and grab the Poke Flute. I have a couple of options now, but I think heading to the Safari Zone to get Surf is the best choice. I decide to take on Koga while I'm here, but believe it or not, I struggle to even get past some of the mandatory jugglers. Get your cookbooks out, boys and girls. Today I'll be teaching you the secret recipe for a reset. All you need is a sprinkle of Drowsy's Poison Gas with a generous dash of Kadabra's Side Beam doing half of my health. As long as Poison Gas missed though, I could squeak by on low health. Now, I went into the Koga fight with a false sense of security. Surely Cloyster's super high defense stat will carry me to victory, right? Well, not if I get poisoned even once, which is almost guaranteed to happen. Either I was getting hit by Toxic right away, or Sludge's 30% chance was proccing constantly. All Koga had to do at that point was wait out the clock, using things like Minimize to stall for time. I also wasn't doing enough damage to even one-shot Coughing, giving him even more chances to poison me. Now, I could have just taught Surf, but with how squishy Cloyster was against special attacks, I was worried that I might need to rely on Water Pulse's Confuse at some point. Instead, I opt to leave for now and head for Silph Company to fight Diamond. This will be Cloyster's first time facing Venusaur, and it does not go well. Aurora Beam is barely doing half, and Razor Leaf is KOing me from full health, even without the crit. So yeah, this isn't happening. This definitely confirms that picking Bulbasaur over Squirtle was the right call to make this more challenging. There's not a lot of good options here. I could fight a bunch of trainers, but most of them are low level and would waste a good chunk of time. I'm thinking maybe I gave up on Koga too soon, so I fly back to Fuchsia Gym and beat off the rest of Koga's trainers.
Phrasing?
I tried Koga again at level 41, and now I'm able to one-shot the Coughing more consistently, which will reduce my chances of getting poisoned quite a bit. Muck is still the problem child though. It has high special defense and can tank my hits really well, meaning it will always survive into the healing range. It also loved to use Minimize, making my already weak attacks miss. I bashed my head against Muck for a few attempts until something happened that confused me. Not only did Muck give me a free turn with Acid Armor, Koga also decided to just not heal. I have no idea why this happened. He used a Hyper Potion on Coughing right afterwards, so he definitely still had one. Ultimately, this brain dead moment by Koga secured me the victory since the Sludge from Wheezing couldn't break my top tier defense stat. If anyone knows why he decided to throw the fight here, let me know down in the comments. With the Koga roadblock out of the way, I surf down to Cinnabar Island. diamond. Inside of the Pokemon Mansion, I grab a TM that I'm probably going to use for the rest of the game, Blizzard. Since Blaine is free experience, I head inside the gym to sweep his team with Silph. Growlithe, down. Ponyta, down. Rapidash, down. Arcanine, down. Oh, he survived and one-shot me with Fire Blast. Okay, maybe not so free after all. On my next attempt, I set up some spikes on Growlithe since I know I can survive his weaker Fire Blast. Unless it burns me. Okay, once more with feeling. I plop down spikes and the little extra damage should be enough to take Arcanine down. No, the magic pixel strikes again. Oh, but his Fire Blast missed. Blaine tries to heal, but it's no use. My reward for winning is hitting level 43 and learning my final level up move, Spike Cannon. I decide to teach over Hyper Beam since I have a backup TM for it and I think it's not worth having to recharge. After stalling as much as I possibly could, I finally head back to Silph Company to try to cut this diamond. Blizzard was definitely the missing ingredient that I needed, allowing me to one-shot both Pidgeot and Venusaur. I'm a little worried about Alakazam though, so I use Gyarados to set up some spikes, but seeing Dragon Rage has me clenching. I use Blizzard hoping it would KO, but that damn magic pixel just won't leave me alone. I'm low on health going into Alakazam, and I need to outspeed or else I have no chance. I was tempted to use Blizzard to maximize damage, but the chance to miss was just too risky. I used Surf and crossed my fingers. Yes, another rival fight in the bag. The Giovanni fight goes the same as before. Even though I get body slam paralyzed, he just can't do anything against my physical wall. Sabrina is the final obstacle before the next final obstacle. I'm a little nervous here since Sabrina has a high chance of sweeping me. Kadabra goes down in 1, and luckily Mr. Mime likes to spam barrier, giving me time to set up spikes. Venomoth lives on a magic pixel, but that's actually fine since it baits out a hyper potion. As long as I go into Alakazam with full health, I can tank a single psychic, but it just barely survives a blizzard. It's not too bad though, because all I need to win is to set up an extra set of spikes while Mr. Mime spams barrier, which gives me the little extra damage I need to take out Alakazam, assuming that critical hit that I got wasn't needed of course. Giovanni round 3 goes even better than 1 and 2. With my trusty Surf, he doesn't even get a single attack off. Should have kept that Kangaskhan, I guess. Another gym leader bites the dust. Get it? Because Giovanni, ground gym, dust. Okay, moving on. I'm trying to save my rare candies for as long as possible, so I try fighting Diamond al natural. Pidgeot still goes down in 1 blizzard, but it only does about 75% to Venusaur, and I can't survive a single hit from Razor Leaf. I try once more, this time setting up 3 stacks of spikes beforehand, but Venusaur still barely survives. It's clear that I'm going to need a little extra juice if I want to win here. I scarf my candy and come back at level 56. To nobody's surprise, I'm now able to one-shot Venusaur even without spikes. Gyarados decides to give me a gift with Rain Dance, making it even easier to one-shot both Growlithe and even Alakazam with Surf. After rushing through Victory Road and making sure to grab Hail along the way, I arrive at the Elite Four. It's been a long and somewhat bumpy road, but I decide to head right in just to see how Lorelei will go. I set up spikes against Dugong, but it immediately becomes apparent that even though I resist practically every attack Lorelei has, my garbage special defense is just not enough to get me through all 5 of her Pokemon. A single Surf from Dugong is doing almost a third of my HP. Fighting her own Cloyster makes it even more apparent. I'm able to knock it out in only 2 of my own Surfs. That's pretty bad. Reaching Slowbro made it crystal clear. This was a battle of attrition and I was gonna lose every time. Luckily I had the foresight to grab the rest TM from the SSM before it sailed away. I taught it over Spike since I still needed Spike Cannon to do any kind of meaningful damage to her water ice types. I burned through Dugong pretty easily, and I used her Cloyster as an opportunity to heal up. The only attacking move it has is Dive, but that just makes my Surf even stronger. Slowbro would use Yawn pretty frequently, so I had to counter with Rest or else I risked falling asleep at low health. Jinx is the same problem. If she puts me to sleep when I'm in yellow health, there's a good chance I would get knocked out before waking up, so I had to use Rest aggressively. However, this makes Lapras a huge issue. After Slowbro and Jinx vampire my Rest uses away, I don't have many left over, and Spike Cannon is doing barely anything. I'm still losing the battle of attrition. I decide to change up my strategy and take a page out of Koga's book. Since Lorelei is basically the last trainer I would need Spike Cannon for, and it's not doing a whole lot anyways, I decide to erase it for Toxic. This definitely makes the fight a lot more consistent. Now Toxic can whittle away their huge HP pools while I take a little nappy poo. There's still things that can throw a wrench into the machine though, like Dugong's Safeguard or Slowbro and Jinx putting me to sleep at a bad time, but with this new moveset, I'm able to take down Lapras and secure my first Lorelei victory. Now, just like Koga, I went into Bruno a little too overconfident. Even though I'm technically weak to fighting, my massive defense wall should carry me through, right? Wrong. Onyx obviously goes down easy, but I'm not able to one-shot either Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee, leaving me at red health going into Machamp. I hope for the best as I use rest, but it doesn't matter. Machamp can knock me out in 2 cross chops. This is bad. Bruno should be the easiest Elite Four member by far. If I can't one-shot Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, I don't think I have much chance of winning. At this point, I should mention that when doing these challenges, I don't save in between Elite Four members for a couple of reasons. The first being, it just makes it a little bit harder, but second, it allows me to play around with different strategies without committing to a TM use. So before I work my way through Lorelei again, I level up to 62. This time I also get rid of Toxic for Hail, since I'll be needing the guaranteed Blizzard hits. Even with the extra chip damage, I'm still not coming close to one-shotting Hitmonchan, and the speed drop from Rock Tomb allows him to get an extra Sky Uppercut in. Hitmonlee still outspeeds and takes me out before I can get a rest off. I don't think it can be helped. I need to reach Machamp with more than half health, and I just can't do that if Hitmonchan is allowed to drop my speed. I hate to say it, but I need to level up some more. I had to do a lot of trial and error here. I didn't want to go overboard, so I would only gain a level or 2, go back, and try again. Even at level 71, Bruno is a bit of a coin toss. One-shotting Hitmonchan was still a range, and wait, Blizzard missed? But it's hailing. Okay, so after some googling, apparently only in Generation 3, hail does not increase Blizzard's accuracy, so now I don't even have that going for me. But a couple things could happen that would allow me to break through. On this particular attempt, critting Hitmonlee with Surf is what I needed to also take down Machamp. I finally made it past Beefcake Bruno. I don't make any changes to my moveset going into Agatha. I use Surf on her first Gengar, and there's that magic pixel again. Gengar hits me with Toxic before Agatha uses a full restore. I let the Toxic tick since taking down the Gengar with 2 more Surfs is the more pressing issue. I use the Golbat as a chance to rest and heal the poison since my high defense will keep me safe. After waking up, a single Blizzard is all I need to put Golbat to sleep. I decide to conserve my Blizzard uses and Surf Arbok down. I rest one final time because I want to be as strong as possible going into her last 2 Pokemon. I push my luck using Blizzard on Gengar, but of course I missed my 70% chance. However, Agatha sure doesn't miss her 70% chance and lands Hypnosis. There was a chance I could have survived this, but not after getting hit with a Nightmare. On attempt number 2, one-shotting Gengar 1 and Golbat with Blizzard alongside Arbok wasting a turn on Screech ensures that I can go into Gengar 2 with full HP. It's not clear if Blizzard would one-shot here, so I play it safe and go for Surf. Gengar uses Sludge Bomb, which miraculously doesn't poison me, and the Citrus Berry it's holding is actually a benefit because it prevents Agatha from using a full restore. After Gengar goes down, Haunter just needs one final Surf. I can't believe that Agatha is actually turning out to be easier than Bruno in this run, and I'm thinking that Lance might turn out to be the same way. Gyarados is up first, and I use it to set up Hail. I whittle it down with Blizzard and Surf, which is fine since it'll force a full restore, but it's also whittling me down with Dragon Rage, so I make sure to rest up. After Gyarados goes down, I foolishly assumed that I would outspeed the Aerodactyl, but I don't, and it hits me with Ancient Power. Even though it gets the stat increase, I take it out with 1 Surf, but now I'm going into the Dragon Trio on 44 health. I'm hoping that Dragonair is safe to heal up on, but Outrage is doing more than a third of my health and I go down before waking up. At this point, I got a bit frustrated because I lost to Bruno like 5 times in a row, either due to Blizzard missing or Hitmonchan just barely surviving the damage range. So just for the sake of consistency, I get 1 final level and go back in at level 72. Now Hitmonchan is a guaranteed kill, and Bruno won't gate me from the rest of the Elite Four, unless of course Blizzard still misses. Okay, finally getting back to Lance, I play it a bit smarter this time and only KO Gyarados when I'm in green HP. This way after Aerodactyl gets his licks in, I'll still have enough to survive 1 Outrage. I don't mess around this time, and as soon as Dragonair comes out, I go straight for Blizzard. The universe finally repays me for Bruno, and I don't miss a single Blizzard, one-shotting both Dragonairs and Dragonite. I finally made it to the champion. I will finally get to prove once and for all that diamonds really aren't a girl's best friend. I get rid of Hail for Hyper Beam since it's not raising Blizzard's accuracy anyway, and if I ever needed Blizzard not to miss, this was it. I nail it and knock out Pidgeot in 1 go. Rhydon comes out but obviously has no chance. The silver lining about the champion's Venusaur here is it only has Solar Beam, so I actually get a free Blizzard if I need it, but luckily I don't and Venusaur takes a dirt nap. The final threat is Alakazam, which could very easily shatter my dreams. My best option is Hyper Beam, but it will leave me vulnerable for his next Pokemon. Arcanine might have a chance if it comes out and I'm left with my pants down. I have to risk it. Yes! I outspeed and Alakazam goes down. Moment of truth. Oh my god. He sent out Gyarados. You beautiful bastard. That's pretty much it. I win. Gyarados literally can't kill me as long as I'm not dumb and use rest. I make sure to top up when needed, and down goes Gyarados. I outspeed and one-shot Arcanine with Surf, and that, as they say, is GG. Okay, so I've completed the challenge, but how does Cloyster actually stack up against Starmie? I think it should be fairly obvious just by comparing their final levels. Starmie was able to take down the Elite Four a full 12 levels below Cloyster, and was almost 3 hours faster in game time. I also had wasted a bunch of time in Starmie's run having to go back and collect all of the rare candies I had skipped during the run, which I didn't have to do in Cloyster's, so that skews even more in Starmie's favor. I'm sorry if Cloyster is your favorite, and that is perfectly fine, but I think the winner is clear here. If I had to pick just one thing that holds Cloyster back, it's the lack of type coverage. For most of this run, I had to entirely rely on neutral damage stab moves. I also had to resort to strategies like Toxic and Rest, which I normally don't like doing. Meanwhile, Starmie was able to exploit weaknesses way more efficiently. And with that, my second Pokemon challenge comes to a close. Which Pokemon challenge would you like to see next? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you're interested in watching me do these challenges live, pop over to my Twitch channel and join the fun. I hope to see you there, but until then, thanks for watching.